The back of this box is not in good condition. I'm not happy with my buyback of this game. Hi. Yeah, it's been a long night. And my allergies are acting up, and sometimes my eyes get a little messed up. How can I help you? Oh, this? Yeah, this is the Chess Master for the original Game Boy. I wanted this for my own personal collection, but I bought it off of a customer, and I did not check the back of the box. As you can see, the discoloration is not good. If we open the game, everything seems to be in order here. We have a pamphlet advertisement for Nintendo Power. Does not exist anymore. The instruction manual. And the game itself. So, everything seems to be in order here, as I only collect games with the manual and box. Anything else is a bonus, but as long as the manual is intact and the box is in pretty good shape, I will buy it for myself. What can I help you with, though? What are you looking for? Here at Andy's Games and Books, we have all sorts of nostalgic items. We have original Game Boy. We have some original NES games. This is not closing the way I want it to. As you can see, I'm very particular with the items and how gently I am with them to make sure they're in the most pristine condition that we can have them in. We have some original PlayStation. We have PlayStation 2, 3, and 4, and 5. We have some Xbox and Xbox 360, some Sega Genesis, some Nintendo 64. We also have retro consoles, the mini consoles that came out, like the Nintendo Mini, the Super Nintendo Mini. And if you're looking for collections, we have an Assassin's Creed collection. We have God of War. We have Mortal Kombat, Kingdom Hearts, Tekken, Soul Calibur. Trying to think. Oh yeah, we have a sports section. We have Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, and Sonic the Hedgehog as well. You want to see some original Game Boy games? Yeah, I actually just bought some of these. Some of these are for my own personal collection, but if you want to take a look at them, I'm more than happy to show them to you, and if you'd like to make an offer, you can. Even though I would want them for my personal collection, you're the customer, so I have no problem doing that. So we have the Chess Master, as you see here. Then we have Mortal Kombat 3. This was for the Game Boy itself. Graphically, it was pretty good, but it was also pretty bad. What I mean by that is the character sprites on the select screen were pretty digitized and pretty, what's the word? You could see the detail in the character faces. But then when you got to the actual gameplay, it was pretty bad. This game was the second best of the three that came out for the original Game Boy. The second being the best one, and the first game being the worst because of the slowdown that happened. Yeah. Oh, so you heard about that. Yeah, slowdown was very bad. And you try to do a special move, you input the buttons, and maybe a second and a half would pass, and then, yeah, then the move would happen. You see the back of this. Yeah, if you want to see it, take a look, sure. No. Yeah, it's, if you're a Mortal Kombat fanatic like myself, you're going to collect everything, no matter how bad or good. But, what kind of games are you looking for the original Game Boy? I mean, one of the best systems, in my opinion, of all time. You had every type of genre. You had RPGs, you had fighting games, racing games, adventure games. Puzzle was huge on the Game Boy. Action, adventure, and puzzle. Okay. Well, this game is actually very rare to find complete in box like this, because Tetris was the pack-in game for the Game Boy when it came out in 1989 here in the United States. This is in pristine condition. As you can see, there are no issues with the box. Yeah, this is a must-have. Oh, there is an issue with the box. I take that back. There's a little rip on the corner there. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, but this is $39.99. I'm sure you can find a used copy like this, but just the game itself for $10 easily online. I'm not going to lie to you. But if you'd like, if you're a complete in-box perfectionist like I am, you pay the higher price for the rarity of the box itself. It's not so much that the manual is rare, it's not so much that the game is rare. Both of them are not. The box is, and you pay for the box. Okay, put that in the maybe pile, okay. Now, this game I'm going to show to you. I don't like to assume people's budgets, but this might be a little pricey for you. This is one of the rarest complete games for the Game Boy that ever came out. It's called Sumo Fighter. This was made by, or published at least by, DTMC, and it's not that it's an incredible game, because it's not. It's not a horrible game, but it's not incredible. It's just the amount of games that were published, the number of copies that were made, not a lot. And so it's extremely rare. This game is retailing for $2,000. Basically, in this game, that you're a sumo fighter and you have to rescue your girlfriend that's been kidnapped by the evil ninjas. And there's little mini games that you can play, like thumb wrestling and arm wrestling and sumo fighting, but it's basically a beat 'em up game. It gets pretty hard towards the end. But yeah, this is one of the rarest complete games you can find. Yeah. I didn't think even if you had the money, you have to want this for a collection, not so much the game itself. Okay. This is a racing game, another hard to find one, called Wave Race. And this was a game that was exclusive, I believe, for the Game Boy itself. And then they made a sequel for the Nintendo 64, Wave Race 64. Now, I might be wrong. I'm trying to find a copyright date on this. This might have come out at the same time that the Nintendo 64 version did, because it does take use of the 4-player adapter. Oh, the 4-player adapter. It was a device that you could link 4 Game Boys together and play against 3 other people. Yeah, it came packaged with, for a holiday bundle, I think in the early 90s, it came packaged with F1 Race and Super RC Pro-Am. It also came with a little, if I recall correctly, AC adapter as well, to plug your Game Boy into the outlet if the batteries are running out, or if you didn't have any batteries. Yeah. But this is $39.99. Yeah, when I have the games like this with the box and the manual, the price does go up. I can't separate them, because then the box and manual would be useless to an extent. Put this in the maybe pile. Okay, so we have Tetris and we have Wave Race now. Now, do you have an original Game Boy at home? Oh, so you'd need one. Okay. And you said you like puzzle games and... you know what? Here's what I'll do. I'll show you the games that I have for the original Game Boy, and we'll make a pile. And if you like them, we'll go over them. If you have no interest, then we won't talk about them. How's that? Okay, great. Give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. So, yeah, this is a lot of stuff. Like I said, I'm a collector. These happen to be all complete. All the manuals are inside the games. And we have a bunch of items. I have here roughly 40 plus games. So I'll quickly do a synopsis of each one, and then you tell me if you have any questions, or if you want to know more about them, or just tell me no and I'll put them to the side. Okay? Okay, great. Well, first, you don't have a system, so this is the actual complete in-box Nintendo Game Boy that came out in 1989. Now, there have been many iterations of the original black and white Game Boy. It started in a box like this, and then I want to say around 1994, 1995, they made the box a lot smaller, more fluorescent colored. Did not come with a game, I don't believe. And then around 96 to 97, they had the Play It Loud version of the Game Boy, which, again, I do not believe came with a game, but they had different colored black and white Game Boys. And then finally the Game Boy Color, I believe in 99 or so, came out. 98, 99, give or take. But this comes with everything. This comes with the earbuds. It comes with the Game Boy, obviously. Tetris is inside here. The Gamelink Cable, so you could connect two Game Boys together. You want to see inside? Okay. Yeah, gotta be very careful. This is easily $299. And that's being generous. Again, you can find Game Boys online, just the system, for probably $50 to $60. Okay, so inside we have the advertisement for other Game Boy games. We have another advertisement for Nintendo Power. This was the Gamelink Cable. Again, you connected two Game Boy systems together to play. You have Tetris. The earbuds, so your parents wouldn't get sick of the noise. You could just put the earbuds in. This was when I first opened my first Game Boy. It was my 10th birthday, and I thought this was the coolest thing. You have the system itself. Comes with the A and B buttons, the select and start buttons, and the what's called the D-pad. And then up top you have the power button, which is right here. And then this is where the Gamelink cable would go. And over here you have the volume button, excuse me, the contrast button. The volume button's over here, and where the headphone jack would be. Oh, and it has batteries in it. It's on, but let's see if it'll work. Let's put the game inside, and we'll see what happens. There we go. Now the games, a lot of times kids, if they didn't understand, they would just put them in like this. That's a no-no. The cartridge, the title would always go in like that. You just press it right in. Well, the screen might be broken. And if that's the case, I can't sell it to you. Interesting. I might have to buy a new Game Boy. It turns on. Now, contrary to people's beliefs, you're not really supposed to blow in the Game Boy or the game cartridges. All the kids used to do it, but what happens is the saliva and the moisture, when the oxidizes the game itself, and it can ruin it. And so they created a cleaning kit for the actual Game Boy. I actually have one right here. It's brand new, has never been opened. If I can get this Game Boy to work, I'll just give this to you if you want to purchase the Game Boy. By itself, this is about $15 still these days, especially brand new. But let's see if I can get this to work the old-fashioned way. Well, unfortunately, I cannot sell you this Game Boy. It would be not right to do that. I do, however, have a Game Boy Color, and a majority of these games will work on the Game Boy Color. Game Boy Color is also newer and will play not only Game Boy Color games, but these old black and white ones. And for the embarrassment, I'll give you half off of the Game Boy Color. Normally the Game Boy Color, especially when it's complete in box like that with the manuals and everything, it's about $300. I'll give it to you for $150 because this should not have happened. If you prefer this Game Boy, you can leave your cell phone. Is that what you want to do? You want this instead? Okay. I'll still take the half off for the inconvenience. But leave your phone number and I'll try to get it to work. And if not, the next time I get one in, I will call you and honor our arrangement. Okay. So let's get into the games. We have over 40. Let's start in alphabetical order. This is a puzzle game. This is one of my favorites growing up. It is 4-in-1 Fun Pack. And this is from Interplay. Basically, there's 4 games on the cartridge. And you can play against the computer, or you can play against someone else. You have chess, you have backgammon, reversey, which is another game name for Othello, and checkers. The chess game has 6 levels of difficulty, and backgammon and reversey have 3. Checkers has 4. It's called Sargon chess. Yeah. Again, one of my favorite puzzle games. And interestingly enough, this is only $9.95. Even complete. It's a pretty good deal. You want this one? Yeah. This is a good one. I'm going to put them back in order, but we'll make a tally here. I'll type on the computer exactly what games we're taking here. Sorry about the noise there. Let's get into a new file. Okay. So we want 4-in-1 Fun Pack, $9.95. Turn that off. It's getting a little hot in here, yeah. Talking about games gets some people, you know, little bothered. Okay, now, you might have heard of the Angry Video Game Nerd. Yeah, of course, everyone's heard of him, yeah. This next game is made by a company called LJN. And LJN was notorious for making horrible games. Rushed games. However, for this, I actually liked this game. It was one of my favorite games growing up, as well as with the 4-in-1 Fun Pack. And it is called The Amazing Spider-Man. This is an action-adventure game, little platforming, beat-em-up game. There's a couple different types of levels. You have the side-scrolling beat-em-ups, and then you have the up-down, climbing up buildings, trying to not get hit by targets or obstacles. But I like this a lot. I really did like it. It's not terrible. And this is $19.95. You want this one too? Okay. Yeah. You're taking my childhood away from me here. So Amazing Spider-Man, $19.95. Okay. We have another puzzle game coming up. Mario stars in it. It's called Alleyway. And Alleyway was one of the first Game Boy games to get released. And it's basically a Breakout clone, is what it is. You ever heard the game Breakout? Yeah, like Brick Breaker on BlackBerry. Absolutely, same type of thing. It's a basic game. You know, if you're trying to kill some time, it's not a bad game to have. You're not going to sit there and hardcore spend hours playing it, but it's nice to have to pass the time. No? Okay. All right, the next 4 games that we have are part of a series. Nintendo put them out, and they have 2 arcade games per game pack. So, let me show you what I mean. The first one is Arcade Classics #1. It has Asteroids and Missile Command on it. And what they did is this was a Super Game Boy game pack. And if you don't know what that is, okay, so Super Nintendo came out, and a few years into its cycle, they created a peripheral that you could put in your Super Nintendo and take specific Game Boy game packs that had this logo on it, and it would give the game a hint of color from the Super Nintendo peripheral. Plus, it would give maybe different levels or hidden options as well. Donkey Kong, for instance, when Nintendo released that, I believe in 1995 or 6, had a hidden game within it if you played it on the Super Game Boy. So this is Asteroids and Missile Command. The second one has Centipede and Millipede. The third game has Galaga and Galaxian. I never got into these. Played Missile Command on an old Macintosh when I was a kid, but these really, yes, they're classics, but they really didn't do anything for me. And then the last one is Defender and Joust. And these are all $14.95 each. But if you buy the collection, I take $10 off, so it'll be $50 for all 4. No? Okay. All right, the next title is a sports game. It's a basic sports game from Nintendo, and it's Mario and baseball. So you have 2 teams. I think you have Mario and you have Luigi on the other. No, maybe Luigi was not part of this, actually. No, I think it was just Mario. Yeah. Yeah. You only had 2 teams. You had the Bears and you had the Eagles. Basic Game Boy baseball. This is $12.95. The music in this game is actually pretty good. I liked it. It gets you through. It's a plod to get through, based on some of the other games that came out on the system later on. This is one of the earlier games. You want to see what others, put this in the maybe, okay. Let's see what other sports games we have. All right, next up is another sports game. This is Blades of Steel. This was a port from the Nintendo version, the NES. And this is very, very good hockey game. Very good arcade action. You had 8 teams, and I remember playing this. The closest to me living in Massachusetts at the time was the New York team. They had 3 American teams, or 4 American teams, and 4 Canadian teams. They had fights in the game. It's a really fast-paced hockey game. This is $39.99. You want this? Okay. Yeah. One of the better sports games on the system. So, Blades of Steel, $39.95. Okay. All right. Next is it's a pretty expensive game. Complete. Again, one of, not so much that the game is incredible, because it's not, but it is very rare to have everything in place. And it's Boxel from FCI, Pony Canyon. FCI was a company that produced a lot of puzzle and RPG type games. The second version of this game, complete, is over $500. This one's $299. So unless you're itching to, well, what's the game about? Basically, you're a guy, and you have to get a job to surprise your girlfriend with a present for Valentine's Day or something along those lines. And so you take a job at a warehouse, and your job is to move boxes onto these dots. And as you go through each warehouse, they progressively get harder, because you can only move the boxes in certain directions, and there's, you know, like aisles that you can't move a box through, so it gets pretty tough. You want to see the back? Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, it's up there, because again, some of these games are very expensive when they're complete. All right, the next game, another puzzle game, Bugs Bunny and the Crazy Castle. I remember when I first saw this game, I thought it was a sort of an action game. It's not. You have to find carrots, and there are obstacles in your way from getting those. You need to get passwords, and you got to get Honey Bunny, your girlfriend, back, who's been kidnapped, and interestingly enough, kidnapped by Daffy Duck. Daffy Duck's supposed to be your friend, but for some reason, Wile E. Coyote, Yosemite Sam, and Sylvester, all 4 of them have kidnapped your girlfriend. So you just have to get through each level, and there's obstacles in your way. So this is $29.99. Now, okay. Now, interesting story about this next game. It's another puzzle game. When I was a kid, again, I got my Game Boy for my 10th birthday, and my mom at the time told me that because she had spent a ton of money on the Game Boy, back then, a brand new Game Boy was $199. It was $200 back then. So, but even so, she said, you're not going to get a lot of games for a while. And I remember saying to my mom, or asking my mom, well, what happens if we're in a store and I find one for like $9? She goes, then I'll get it for you, but there's no way you're going to. So there was a mall back in the day, we're talking in the 90s, called the Dedham Mall. It was in Dedham, Massachusetts. And I was in Woolworths in the video game section. And lo and behold, on sale, there was a Game Boy game for $9.95. I ran from one end of the mall to the other screaming at my mom, I found one, it's $9.95, I found one. And she didn't believe me. She thought I, was pulling her leg, or she thought I was, maybe misread the price or was looking at something different. So after she was done shopping, she finally came with me to Woolworths, and there it was, $9.95, and she bought it for me. Now, I had no idea what game it was. I just wanted it because I had found one for $9.95. And so, much to my chagrin, when I got home and played it, it was a puzzle game. I'm not really a fan of puzzle games, or I wasn't back then. And here it is. Daedalian Opus. And basically all you're doing is trying to fit these puzzle pieces inside of the grid. Some of the pieces fit and some of them don't. That's the game. And yeah, I probably played this for a good hour and said, I hate this thing, and that was it. But another rarer title, not too rare, but rare to be complete, like this. This is even put in wrong. I'm going to fix this. So let's do that now. This is $29.95. No? Okay. Yeah, it is. If you can find it loose, just the game itself, try to pick it up. It's like $10, but... Alright, the next game is a sports game. It is a basketball game. Double Dribble. It's another port from Konami. From the NES version. I loved this game as a kid. It's basically Blades of Steel, but for basketball. It's fast-paced action. There's in-game graphics. The fact they were able to pull this off on the Game Boy is miraculous for these close cutscene, slam dunk animations. But this is $69.99, by the way. Yeah, this is again, to find the box and manual in the condition that this is in, it's up there. Okay. Another puzzle game coming up. This one's expensive as well. Dr. Franken. And I did not know this as I started collecting. As I got older, there was a second Dr. Franken game, and I had no idea. This one, the second one's very expensive, very hard to find. This is another $300 game, by the way. But basically in this game, you're trying to find the missing pieces of your girlfriend, which are spread across the mansion. And there's a ton of puzzles to solve, to try to get to the exit, to try to get to the next room. I got lost in this. I had no idea what to do. It's one of those games where you really need to know what you're doing. So I wouldn't recommend it because for me it was extremely hard. Plus it's expensive. Okay. This is another odd game. Puzzle game. Faceball 2000 from Bulletproof Software. And this was one of the first games to have 3D graphics on the actual Game Boy. There's mazes that you have to get through. And then there's an arena mode where you can face off against your friends. This has a first-person perspective. And there's over 70 levels. Take a look at these graphics for the Game Boy. $59.99 for this. Now, okay. Okay, this is a very, very fun puzzle game. Very fun. It's called Flipple from Taito. And basically you have to match each box to its symbol. And if you can do that, you'll beat each level and go to the next one. I had a good time with this game. I really did. The music is very good. This is $49.99. Yeah, you want this one? Okay, yeah. Yeah, Flipple is a very fun, and this is coming from someone like myself that is not a puzzle guy. Okay, that is the first round of games. I am going to show you this. This is F1 Race. This is a racing game. I highly recommend this. One of the best racing games on the system. Nintendo obviously put it out. And this is what the 4-player adapter looks like. See that there? So it was an adapter that you could hook 4 Game Boys into. There were 4 Gamelink ports, or 3 Gamelink ports on each side. And then this went to one of the Game Boys itself, the wire. So this plugged into one of the Game Boys. And then the Gamelink cables would plug into each Game Boy into this adapter here. But I recommend this is $39. Yeah, this is something that I would take. Absolutely. Okay. So far, from the first set of games we have 4-in-1 Fun Pack for $9.95. We have Amazing Spider-Man for $19.95. We have Blades of Steel for $39.95. We have Flipple for $49.95. And we have F1 Race for $39.95. Okay. Let's go into the second round, second row of games here. First one is, this is brand new. It's a boxing game. It's called Foreman for Real. Ooh, I take that back. It is not brand new. I lied. No. The plastic is still on it, but up here it's cut. So it is not brand new. It saves you some money. It is an okay boxing game. It's nothing great. I'll throw this in for free if you'd like it. Okay, yeah. Throw that in there for you. Spending some money with me, I appreciate it, and I'll do the same for you. Foreman for Real. We're going to put free. Okay. This next game is an RPG. One of the few that I have. I think I only have 2 RPGs for the system in stock right now. But it is expensive RPG. Namco made it. And Namco was not, at the time, they didn't really publish RPGs, so this was rare for them to do so. But it is called Great Greed. And this is over this is $549.99 because it is so rare to find complete. This is a very bizarre RPG because you're literally fighting food. If you've ever played RPGs, you fight enemies, you fight monsters or demons or people. Well, in this game, you actually fight food. Very strange. I mean, among other monsters, but there's food in here. So at some point I am going to want to play this because at the time when I got this game, I didn't know how RPGs worked. I got very frustrated and very impatient, but now, years later, playing games like Kingdom Hearts, and even though that's an action RPG, but you get my point. Yeah. I'd like to go back and try to play this and see if I can beat it because I was terrible when I was a kid. Okay, the next game is an action game. It's based on a movie. We have Jurassic Park. It's a very good game. Ocean made it, and Ocean was a European company that really didn't put out the greatest games, but this one was actually not bad. This is $29.95. You want this one? Okay. Yeah, any game that has to do with Jurassic Park is pretty decent. Okay, next up we have a sports game. It is not that great. It's not terrible. LJN made it, but it's not great. and it's a bunch of mini games. It's called NBA All-Star Challenge. I remember my friend at school had this game, and he used to play it all the time during school. But basically, the mini games are one-on-one, free throws, horse, and accuracy shootout. I assume three-point contest is my guess, from what I can remember. But they have real players. 27 of the biggest stars in the NBA. Barkley, Ewing, Karl Malone, Isaiah Thomas, and more. I'll make you a deal. This will be $12.99 if you want it. You want it? Okay. Now for $12.99, how can you say no? Okay. Star Challenge. $12.99. Okay. Next up, I recommend this game wholeheartedly. It's another sports game. It is kind of pricey, but it's worth it because it's a must-have for your collection. If you're collecting Game Boy. NBA Jam. Graphically, it's pretty rough, but it actually is a pretty good game for the Game Boy. This is $49.99, but I must insist that you pick this up. It is a must-have sports game for the Game Boy. You'll think about it? Okay. All right. We have a few games left. Would you like to see the others? Or are you done for right now? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. You want to see some more? Okay. A few more? Okay. I have some rare games. They're very good, but they're very pricey. But some of the other games that are not so pricey are not that good. How many do I have left to show? 21. We're halfway done, might as well finish. Okay. I'll try to go faster though for you. This one is $300. It's Operation C. This is basically Contra for Game Boy. This is an incredible game. They did a really good job for the Game Boy itself. One of the most fun games I've ever had in my collection. But again, it's pricey because it's complete. You want to wait on this? Okay, yeah. Very rarely will I have some of these heavy hitters sold because you need to have the pockets and be okay with spending that kind of money. But this next one is an old-time classic, Pac-Man. We all know what Pac-Man is. I don't have to explain it to you, do I? No. Okay. This is $29.99. Yeah. You gotta have Pac-Man. I agree with that. Pac-Man's Pac-Man. So let's put this down. All right. This next game is expensive. It is a puzzle game, kind of. I would not recommend purchasing it, though, because for the price, it's not worth it. By no means is it a bad game. It's just a very weird game. Very short game. It's called Penguin Wars. Now, do you have a Nintendo Switch or a PlayStation 4 at all? You have a PlayStation 4. They remade this game for both systems. Definitely for the Switch. I'm pretty sure for the PS4 as well. And you could buy that brand new for $20 or $30. And it's in color. So I would advise you to just pick this up for those systems. But this, because again, it's complete. You're literally an animal. You can choose between a rabbit, a rat, a cow, a bat, or a penguin. And you're literally throwing water balloons at the other animal. And the person that has the most water balloons on their side when the time is up loses. So it's a wacky game, but pick it up for the current consoles if you really want to play it. Okay, this next game is a pinball game. It's one of the few pinball games I have. It might not be, I think it's the only one I have right now. But it is Pinball Fantasies from Gametech. And this is a $79 game. Very interesting cover art, and I remember seeing this guy, and I had to pick this up when I was a kid because of this. The game itself is okay. Is it worth $79? No. All right. Now, did you take the baseball? You did not. Okay. This is play action football. This is by Nintendo, one of the first football games to come out. It's a port of the NES version. It's a very, very slow football game. Slow football game. But it's dear to me because it's the first football game I ever had, and I played this for hours. Inexpensive, $9.95. You want that? Okay. $9.95. Yeah, it's very, very inexpensive. And you're getting a good deal. It's worth $10 easily. Yeah. All right, the next game is a puzzle game. Expensive one, about $90. But it's Pyramids of Ra. Now, this game, you're basically a ball that bounces up and down, and there's a grid, and you have to bounce on each tile of this grid and get to the end. If there's no tile for you to bounce on, the game's over. So, it's a hard game, sort of like Daedalian Opus, except instead of putting puzzle pieces inside of a grid, you're now a ball bouncing on a grid with the tiles. As soon as you bounce on one, they disappear. Now, okay. This next one's a fun game. It's another puzzle game. It's a fun game. It's called Quix. And basically in this game, you're a line, and you draw to fill the grid up. But as you're doing so, there are electric currents that fly around the grid. And if you end up hitting one of them, the game's over. So if you fill up 75% or more of the grid itself, you win that round and you go to the next level. This is inexpensive, $14.95. You want this one? Okay. Yeah, this is a good little puzzler, and I have fun with it. Okay, here's the second pinball game we have. This is a good one. I like this better than the Pinball Fantasies, and it's also less expensive. It's Revenge of the Gator, and it's a very odd title for a pinball game, but it's indeed a pinball game. This is $29.95. You're not really a pinball fan? Okay, I get it. Now, this next game is a sports game. I liked it a lot. LJN made it. It sounds like I'm a LJN supporter. I'm really not, but some of the games that I ended up growing up with, I actually enjoyed. Roger Clements, who played for the Red Sox. This game came out when he was on the Red Sox. And it's Roger Clemens MVP Baseball. Now, the interesting thing about this game is this. It was strange because when you played season mode, it started you in the pennant race. It started you in mid-August. And you only played literally a month and a half of games. And it was your job to try to, in those month and a half playing those games, to try to make the World Series eventually. It did not have real players, but it did have the real teams and real divisions. So, this is $29.95. You want this? Okay. Put this down there. Roger Clemens, MVP Baseball, $29.95. Okay. This next game is a shooter. Nintendo made it. It's a very, very, very good shooter. It's fun. It's called Solar Striker. And literally, it's what it is. You're a ship, you're blasting other ships, and your goal is to try to beat the boss. I think there's 5 levels, if I'm not mistaken, 4 or 5. It's a short game, but it's a fun game. And this is $39.95. You want this one too, okay. Yeah, it's a fun game. Okay. This next game is a fighting game. It's not worth the money. It's up there in price, but it's Street Fighter 2. It's $100 for this. If you're not really a Street Fighter fan, there's no reason to purchase. No, okay. Yeah, there's no reason to purchase this one. Okay, these next two are must-haves. They're must-haves, and if you really want to have fun with the Game Boy that you will purchase eventually, you need these 2 games in your collection. They're platformers. They are 10 out of 10 easily, and they are Super Mario Land and Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins. This was the first Mario game. Still has the Record Town price sticker on it from when I had it as a kid. But this is $49.99 these days, and this is also $49.99. But you need to have these games, and if you take both, I'll give you $10 off. Yeah. Can I do 15? So 85, 84.95. For you, I'll do that. These are games that you must have, and because I'm a collector and you want to become a collector, I'll help you out. I know that there are people that have helped me out in the past. So, $84.95. All right, we have the other racing game that I talked about earlier. This is a very good one as well, Super RC Pro-Am. You took the F1 race. I advise you to take this as well. This is $10 more than the F1 races, but you're mini cars and you're racing on tracks and you have different obstacles you have to try to bypass, like oil slicks and other cars and tires and other things like that. And if you collect the Nintendo letters, you get a powerful car. So it's a fun little racing game. It'll give you hours and hours of entertainment. Yeah, okay, you want this one? Sure. Can I do another deal for you? I'll give it to you for the same price as the F1 race. How's that? Yeah, okay. All right, we're down to our last 7 games. Terminator 2, Judgment Day is another action game. It's LJN. It's not great. It's not horrible. $29.95 on this one. No? Okay. This next one is a sports game. It's a football game. Now, I know you already have play action football, but this is something you have to purchase, or I'm going to kick you out of my store. Tecmo Ball for the Game Boy. Great, great football game. The best football game on the Game Boy. Not even close. $59.95. Yeah. Yeah. For that price, you have to take it. Okay. This is another sports game. It's fun. I liked it a lot. It gets kind of hard towards the end, but this is tennis. And I'll give this to you for $12.99 if you want. Tennis game. No? Okay. I have another tennis game I'm going to show you in a second, though. This is $79.99, guy. Very, very rare to find complete. Tiny Toon Adventures, Wacky Sports. It's a bunch of mini games. It's hard as can be. Very hard. At least for me it was. I would not recommend spending that kind of money. No, okay. All right, this next one is a must-have. And again, you are going to purchase it. It is TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Fall of the Foot Clan. This one's up there. How up there? This is $109.95. How much have you spent so far? 30, 70, 120, 160. You got the Foreman for Real for free. 190. 203. 233, 243, 257, 258, 288, 328, 408, that's 85, 328, 413, 513 or 513. Do you want to put something back? Well, so you have I would take this over Flipple, the puzzle game that we talked about earlier. It's $49.95. Okay, so you want to put back Flipple and take this instead. Okay. Just make that change. All right. This next game I'll show to you because we have to do it. We're almost done. We have Top Rank Tennis. It's another tennis game put out by Nintendo. No, okay. I didn't really have to go into that with you. All right, and the last game we have in this section of Game Boy games, we have others, but they're part of the Mortal Kombat section or the sports section. Madden, for instance, for the Game Boy, and other games as well, but we won't get to those today. We've done enough. Ultima Ruins of Virtue. This is one of the hardest RPGs I've ever played. As a kid, I swore I would never play another RPG because of this game. And I held true to that until Kingdom Hearts came out in 2002. But in this game, you have to go through 7 caverns, and you have to get the 7 Ruins of Virtue. And, 8 caverns, because the 8th is the last one. And I had gotten 7 of the 8 and could not get to the 8th, did not know where it was, and I rang up a huge phone bill, and my mom almost killed me when I was a kid, so I had no health left, I had no money left to buy any weapons, and that was it. But this is one of the best RPGs for the system. Very underrated. I hated it as a kid, but growing up now I appreciate it. And this is $69.95. You'll hold off, okay. And then we have the cleaning kit that I told you I would give to you for free. Now, from these other games, we had some in the maybe pile. We had the Wave Race racing game. We had Tetris, which will come with the system. You don't need to purchase this. Sumo Fighter was the $2,000 game. You don't want that now. Okay. Mortal Kombat 3 is going to go into the Mortal Kombat section, so I don't really want to sell this to you. I'm sorry. And you probably don't need it anyway. And then I have to get you a case for the Chessmaster. Did you want the... No? You don't want the Chessmaster? Okay. To get a case anyway. Now, The last item I have to show you, and this is brand new, it's still sealed, even though the box is in shambles, is Game Genie. This came out, it's a device that you put into your Game Boy. You put the game inside of the device, and you could get infinity lives and jump higher, and it would literally hack the game so you could beat it easy peasy. This is $29, brand new. Oh yeah, I mean, this is a must-have. Must-have just to have. You don't even have to use it, but yeah, okay, $29.95. All right. So the grand total. Let's do the math, shall we? We have 4-in-1 Fun Pack, $9.95. We have Amazing Spider-Man, $19.95. We have Blades of Steel, $39.95. F1 Race, $39.95. Foreman for Real, I gave you that for free. That's the boxing game. Jurassic Park, $29.90. You don't want Jurassic Park anymore. Okay, we'll take that off. NBA All-Star Challenge, $12.99. Yeah, you want that one. Okay. Pac-Man, $29.99. No? Okay. Play Action Football, $9.95. Okay. Quix, $14.95. Yeah. Roger Clemens MVP Baseball, $29.95. Yeah. Solar Striker, $39.95. It's a very fun shooter. Yeah, okay. Super Mario Land and Super Mario Land 2, $84.95. Yeah, we want those. Okay. Super RC Pro-Am, $39.95. Yeah, that's the other racing game. Okay. Tecmo Ball, $59.95. You want to hold off on Tecmo Ball? It's rare. You can find it used with just the game, $15-20. But if you want the manual in the box, it's rare to find. You don't care? Okay. Fall of the Foot Clan, the Turtles game, $109.95. Yeah, we want that. And then the Game Genie, $29.95. So the grand total with it's $482.39, and then we're going to add a 8% sales tax of $38.59. So the grand total is $520.98. And like I said, when that Game Boy is fixed, I'll give you a call. It should take maybe a week, and I'll give it to you for the half off. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you doing business with me here at Andy's Games and Books. And next time you want to see some of the books we have, absolutely. Yeah, we have pretty much all the horror books from the 90s, R.L. Stine and Christopher Pike and Diane Ho and some other authors as well. Oh, yeah, there's a bunch. I have every Goosebumps book ever. You want to see those next time? Absolutely, stop right on by. We're open 7 days a week. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you spending the time that you did. Have a good night.